Let us consider that you are nothing physical. You are nothing physical. You are like a whirlpool in a stream. The whirlpool, you may say, well, clearly that whirlpool is physical. I can see it. I can touch it. I can take a photo of it. But what is that whirlpool made of? If you take a bucket and you scoop up the water that flows within the whirlpool will cease to exist. The whirlpool is not any set molecules. The water runs through it. It is a pattern within matter, but it is not the matter itself. And in the same way, you are a pattern in matter. You are not composed of the same matter that you were made of when you were born. The different chemicals, the minerals, the vitamins, all the things that compose your body, the calcium, the water, it runs through you. The cells die, the membranes dissolve, and new cells are formed. Every single cell, like this is what people say, I don't really know this, but they say that every cell in your body dies and gets replaced every 7 years. So like that whirlpool through which the water flows, there is matter flowing through you in the form of your body. But you are not any of those molecules. That isn't you. You are a pattern. Or, shall we say, there is a part of you that maintains this pattern. Likewise also, you are not any of the other physical things aside from your body in your life. You are not your clothing. You are not your relationships. You are not your culture. You're not your job. You are none of these things. That isn't you. Your physical environment could have been entirely different. If at birth, I don't know, if you would have been born somewhere else, a different country, different culture, different parents, you would be entirely different now. You would be dressing differently, speaking differently, thinking differently, because you've been influenced differently. Your thoughts have been influenced differently. So, you are not those things. The question is then, what are you? Well, if you strip away all the things that you're not, then the one thing that remains must be you. The very core of what you are. Well, what is that? How do you get to that? Well, one way to get there is through meditation. It's maybe the only way, you just give it different names. But what is meditation? Many people have many ideas about what meditation is. They think there's walking meditation, and there's chanting, there's mantras, there's visualization, breathing techniques, yoga, all these kinds of things. But at its core, meditation is one thing. Meditation is quieting the mind. That is the purpose that it serves. And you can do this. There are many roads that lead to this goal. But the simplest is just you sit down comfortably and you clear your mind. You no longer strengthen or give life to the thoughts that bubble up in your mind. Many of the thoughts live through opposition. Maybe you have a fear and you go, no, that isn't true. And you engage your thoughts. There's a dialogue that goes on in your head all the time. Well, for most people, this is the norm. There is a constant dialogue within the head. So now let's just imagine it. You sit down comfortably. You turn on the light to reduce the stimulation. You close your eyes. You breathe deeply. You sit nice and straight. You have a good posture so the blood circulates, and then when you calm down and your thoughts slow down and you relax. So, where does this take you? Where does this take you? You close your eyes, you tend to go within. And the outside world, even your body, it tends to fall away, kind of dissolves. Your attention goes elsewhere. So you move above, below. Let's call it below. Below the physical. So you're no longer focused on, all the active things in your life. You move away from that. You move away from your body. You're no longer thinking about that. You move away from your thoughts. You move away from that. So where do you end up? You end up at a point of observing consciousness. That's it. It is an observing. It is like take a painting. You have a frame, you have glass in front of it, and you have a beautiful, vivid picture. Let's say this is you. This is your life, right? You say, what is the painting? What is the essence of this painting? Well, let's take away the frame, and let's take away the glass, part of the frame, right? And now you have the vivid picture on there. Well, it's kind of like, you can go deeper than that. Then you take away the actual paint that's on top of the canvas. So you take away the paint on the canvas, and what are you left with? You're left with a blank canvas. You can say, well, this is nothing. This is nothing. This is just a blank canvas. It's why would anybody want that? Why would you focus on that? Well, at the heart of every painting, there is a blank canvas. Every painting, the most wonderful works of art, you take away the paint, and you have the blank canvas underneath it. But without that canvas, you can't have the painting. And you can have any painting on one canvas, basically. So if you say every painting in the world, you have the same canvas underneath it. It's the same with human beings. So the paint and the frame, these are the things that we take on in this world. These are the thoughts going through your head. It's the paint, it's the image, it's the picture, it's the words, it's that whole play. It is the color of this life. And that is beautiful. It's beautiful. The whole world is full of paintings. It's all art. Everything is art. It's beautiful. It is amazing. But when you go to the art gallery and you appreciate the art, you know it's art, and that's why you can appreciate it. You may look at something else in everyday life, and you may get caught up in fear and go, this is terrible, this shouldn't be, or you get wrapped up in it. You get wrapped up in your own life. You get wrapped up in who you are, because you lose perspective. You fail to recognize that that is also art. And when you meditate, you find that quiet place, you move beyond all of that, you strip away the paint, and you settle down, and you connect with that inner consciousness, that observing consciousness. You realize that inner consciousness, it doesn't change. It doesn't change. It was there the day you were born. It will be there the day that you die. No matter what happens, no matter how the paints on the canvas change, the canvas itself doesn't change. Not just that, but that observing consciousness, that singular point deep inside, it is formless. It has no shape, it has no color, it has no detail. It just observes. The same way as the canvas. I mean, okay, you can argue a canvas can have different textures and different materials. That's taking the analogy too far. When you get to your own core, that observing consciousness, it has no detail. It doesn't change. It just is. It just observes. And that inner observing consciousness is the same inside of every person. You can extend it. It's the same inside of every animal. Take it further. It's inside of every plant. It's inside of everything that exists. Has that same consciousness at its core. And you could argue that there is only one. There is a singular consciousness that exists. That's all there is. There is one consciousness, and it's taken on all this canvas and all this color. It has fragmented itself in this fractal universe and grows in complexity from day to day, and it expands, and it's ever more incredible, this crescendo of life. But you can connect with the source. You can close your eyes and you can get back to that and reconnect with that and know that that is you, and know that that is the same in everybody else. There are greetings from old cultures. I mean, there's Namaste, which is Tibetan, I believe. There's also one that the Mayans use. I forget what that one's called. But these are greetings, and also the Zulus in Africa, they have this idea of Ubuntu. These words, these greetings, they recognize that I honor the consciousness inside of you, or I see myself in you. The ancient cultures, we deride them as being primitive, but they actually understood a lot that we have forgotten. They knew, they remembered, they were in touch with that connectedness inside. And you can connect with that too. And I believe the Western world, which is the most disconnected, our culture is terribly disconnected. We have completely forgotten who we are, and that we are intimately, that we are in a system together with everything and everyone else. We've turned into cancer, but that is changing. So, what are you? You are a pinpoint of observing consciousness. You are the invisible observer, the canvas underneath everything.